This week on TC Time. Last week, you guys got to see me do a demonstration and a brief description of the build of the power washer that I've made. It works off air compressor. Well, I decided this was a little bit too complicated for just anybody to want. It's kind of heavy. So I went back, I've stepped it back just a little bit, and this time I'm giving you a step-by-step, detailed instruction on how to build this thing. Step by step. It's going to go quick. I'm not going to do a lot of talking. Alright, as you see, I've made a parts list. As we put things together, we're going to go ahead and check them off the parts list. This is everything that you need. This side of the paper that you need to build the power washer. Alright, let's get started. Alright, it says first thing I need is a 1/4 inch ball valve. I have a 1/4 inch ball valve right here. I went ahead and screwed in my two 1/4 inch fittings to each side, my 1/4 inch double nipples, so I could screw on an air chuck and screw it into my gun. So let's go ahead and check off all that. There's my 1/4 inch ball valve. Close the double nipples. And that's it. Alright. So we have that. That's going to be how you get your air to your gun. The next thing that we're going to need is a hex 3/4 inch to 1/4 inch hex bushing. This is what it looks like right here. Okay, let's go ahead and check that off the list. Right here. This is a must-have. If you don't have this, you can't make the gun. All right. Now then, every once in a while, if you don't have a tap set already, you can go to the parts store. You pick you up one of these 3/4 inch hex fittings and a 1/4 inch nipple, and you can just pick up. If you'll go through the bin, you can usually find one that'll reverse thread. Just screw it in backwards. So anyways, if you can find one that'll reverse thread in, great. If not, then what you'll have to do is you'll have to Harbor Freight sells a 1/4 inch tap. By the way, this is a size 13 socket. I don't have a tap wrench, but this works great. And all I do is I'll start my tap in by hand to make sure that my threads are going to be straight. Once I get that in as far as I can get it by hand, take some of this cutting oil. Harbor Freight sells it also. It's kind of expensive, but it's worth it. Spray it on there. Connect your tool. Press the button. Okay, till it stops, then you back it out. Take out the vise. You don't have to go all the way through, you just have to get it to where it'll start. If you have a tapered thread fitting on your hex bushing, this is usually all you have to do. And it starts the thread right in. Bam! Okay? So anyways, this isn't how it's supposed to go in there. It's going in there the opposite way that it was designed to go in there. So anyways, that's what the hex bushing is for, and I'm about to tell you why. Alright, now that we got our hex bushing, it's all tapped out, everything's nice and neat on it. Like I said, we're going to take our nipple with a tapered end, we're going to reverse thread it into the hex bushing backwards. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put a coupler on here. Now, this is just a little cheap brass 1/4 inch coupler that I bought at Harbor Freight, and I filed the edges off of it so I'd have smoother water flow. Okay, then I'm going to extend it. Now, I don't know if anybody's noticed, but I have not started putting thread sealant on my threads yet. The reason why I have not started putting thread sealant on my threads is because this does not have to be all the way airtight or watertight. This is going to be what delivers your air into your gun. Now, on the right side of the fitting, the one that they made for you to screw in stuff to, take your 1/4 inch ball valve that you just put your nipples on and screw that in. We do need thread sealant on this. I just put a little dab on there and just kind of rub it around with one of these gloves on so I don't get it all over me. And I just screw it in. Screw it in as tight as you can get it. Then take your rag and wipe off your excess thread sealant. Okay, so now we've got a quarter inch air quick connect going to a 1/4 inch ball valve, going to a 1/4 inch hex bushing, screwed in the wrong direction from the other side is another 1/4 inch nipple coupler, another nipple. Now the reason why I have two of these nipples is because the inside barrel is going to get, this is your inside barrels, this is the engine of your gun. It's going to have to be the same length as the barrel of your gun. Okay, so if I need a little extra length, I've cut off a 1/4 inch air fitting, because a 1/4 inch hole starts from 1/4 inch and goes down to 1/8 inch. So I can reduce it one more time and get a little extra length if I need it. I'm going to set this to the side. Also, if you'll notice, I cut it off at an angle. What will happen is that this will actually point the direction of the air upwards, which will help the Venturi effect if I use it. Alright, so we have this built. This is complete. We're going to set this to the side. Okay? That's complete. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is we need to pick up our T fitting. Okay? Now let's go ahead and make sure that we got everything checked off here. Here's our 3/4 inch T fitting. Quick connect air compressor fitting we already got. 1/4 inch brass coupler, and the closed nipple, and that was actually 2 on that one. Alright, so we got all those checked off. So now we're down to the T fitting. Back to your pipe sealant. Into your T fitting, you're going to take a 3/4 inch closed nipple. Now you can get the ones that are all the way closed, or you can get the ones that have a little ring around the middle. I like the ones with the ring around the middle because I can grab a hold of it with a pair of pliers and not damage the threads. Okay? So I'm going to screw that into my T fitting on the bottom side first, after applying thread sealant. Okay, I'm not going to worry about wrenching that down all the way just quite yet. Now I'm going to apply thread sealant to the other side of the nipple. Here comes your ball valve. This is so you can control how much water is going into the gun. You're going to want your lever to your ball valve on the side whenever you're done screwing. All right, now I'm pretty sure that I did not include this on the list because this is optional. This is an ergonomic thing. I like this better for myself. At this point, I usually put a 45-degree elbow with a 3/4 inch close the nipple on it, right underneath the valve, right underneath the nipple on the valve. But you don't have to do that, and if you're concerned about cost, at this point you can just simply screw on a 3/4 inch international pipe thread to garden hose adapter. But I'm going to put mine together the way I want. So, thread sealant. .45, 3/4 inch 45. Okay, I'm gonna want to turn this a little more, so I'm gonna put it in a vise. At this point, this is how you want it lined up. You want your T-fitting straight, you want your valve handle on the side, and you want your 45-degree angle pointing towards the back. Time for more thread sealant. Okay, at this point, we're going to screw on our brass garden hose adapter. The reason I buy the brass ones is they're harder and they don't bend and they don't get out of shape. They're machined instead of cast. They're just all the way better. I always choose to put on a male end on mine. Even though the end of your garden hose is male, I choose to use a male end, and I'll show you in a little bit why. The reason I choose a male end is because there's no moving parts on a male end. The female ends usually have a ring that turns. It's a moving part, something to wear out, something to have to replace. And I'm just going to give this a nice quick turn just to make sure, because I don't want any water to get on me. I'm losing it. Alright. That should be plenty good right there. Alright, back up here. I will say that none of this is important. The links, the size of your valve, none of that is gonna, if you change up something to make it fit your hand better, say you want to get a longer nipple, or you want to get you want to spend less money on a ball valve and get a PVC ball valve, or whatever you want to do, anything, the links right here are not important at all whatsoever. You can make this look however you want, as long as it goes into a T-fitting, a way to turn the water on and off, and a way to hook up your garden hose. Alright, now we're going to put on the barrel. Alright, all of this is going to be important. Okay? So, on the barrel, pipe sealant. You'll notice the garden hose fitting is facing towards the back, and I'm screwing the barrel in towards the front. So this is going to be the front, this is going to be the back. Okay, then, since this is a nice brass pipe, found it on a hot water heater, I'm going to put a rag over it, and I'm going to give it a little bit, I'm going to tighten it just a little bit. Just make sure it's good and secure it in there. Alright, so we're looking like that now. Okay? Then, on the back side, remember this piece you made, your engine? We're going to put some thread sealant on this. Then it's time to screw it in. Now, it doesn't matter where your handle's at on your air control. It's whatever's going to be comfortable for you. I kind of like mine on top like that. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, so we're looking like that now. Air control, water control. Okay, we're just a little short. I don't know if you can see in there. But anyways, the inside pipe needs to end right where this stops. So it looks like I'm going to need this piece I made. I already knew I needed it. Okay, remember we want that slant to go upwards on the inside of the pipe. So your air actually starts here, travels all the way down here, and then it comes out right there. It is not mixing with the water in here yet. Then you need a cone. Okay. Now it doesn't matter if you use a 3/4 inch to half inch to half inch to 1/4 inch reducer down to 1/8 inch, however small you want to go. The thing is you don't want your inside, you don't want your tip hole to be any smaller than your air hole that's on the inside. That's kind of important. You want them as close as the same size as possible, and it's a good idea to put a slit down each side of your air hole because it allows your spray to go outwards like this. And if you was to push your tip down on something while it was running and the water and air was both on, it's got a place for anything to escape out the side so you're not putting air back into the city water system. Now, since this is just a garden hose fitting, it's got a rubber washer on the inside. I do not need to put thread sealant on this fitting. By the way, garden hose female fittings, they screw right onto 3/4 inch international pipe thread. I don't know why it doesn't go the other way, but it won't. But you can totally get away with it on going female garden hose to male international pipe threads. And there you go. This is a completely finished, all the way ready to hook up to your garden hose and air compressor power washer. I'm trying to get in some good light here so you can see it. Isn't that pretty? I think I'm going to call it the lifetime washer, because if you build one of these, you're never going to have to build another one. There's no moving parts except for the ball valves. And if you have a fitting wear through for some reason, unscrew it and put another one on. It's that simple. So, lifetime power washer. If you have an air compressor, you have a power washer. Turn any air compressor into a power washer. If you want to buy if your wife wants a power washer and you want an air compressor, you can get yourself an air compressor and get this, and you're both happy and you both won. You can trick her into letting you buy an air compressor if you have this tool. Alright, so I'm going to try to pause this and hook it up. Okay, I'm back. I got it all hooked up. Now, I just have my garden hose connected here, and the reason why I put a male fitting on is because it seems like no matter how good of a garden hose that you buy, the end that they come with always leaks, gets stepped on, bent, something. So I just take a washing machine hose, an old washing machine hose. It has a female end on both ends, and I go from the male end of my garden hose to the male end of my gun, and it keeps me dry, and it works a lot better. So I can control my water by opening up this valve. You can just use a little bit of water if you want to. We got a leak. Alright, let's see what happens now. I must need a new fitting. Alright, so anyways, should put some thread sealant on this one. It's leaking a little bit right there. For demonstration purposes, I'm not going to stop and redo this because I'm not good at editing yet. That's what your water looks like all the way on, okay? turn your air on, it's a whole nother ballgame.